Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Not welcome. I don't even know. Let me try and zoom out a little bit more. I'm trying to like keep the tripod out of the shot, but I don't think that's gonna work with this. As you can tell by the title, I am finally going through and kind of showing you guys my pen case, as well as pretty much everything that I keep in my backpack, because I do have another pen case that goes in there and then another set of pens that goes in there. So 3 things total, along with my sketchbook and sometimes my bullet journal. But anyways, I guess we should just get started. I will have this case linked down below for sure. And I am reading from the Amazon listing over on my computer. So that's up so I can read it over there. But this is the, I don't even know how to pronounce, the brand QIANSHAN pencil case holder slot. Holds 202 colored pencils or 136 gel pens with zipper closure, large capacity pen organizer for watercolor pens and markers for students and artist, mandala blue. So this comes in 5 other colors. It looks like one of them is sold out. The solid purple looks like it's sold out. Like I said, this is the mandala blue one. I liked this one because it had pink in it. A couple of the other ones did, but I didn't like the designs as much. And this thing straight up looks like a lunchbox. I have my desk light kind of assisting us with some lighting here, but like this thing looks like a straight up lunchbox. Yeah, it's pretty wide. It's pretty tall. It's like 11 inches and like 8.5-ish. And then it's like 4 inches tall, just to give you a little bit of an idea of how big it is. And this pencil case holds all 108 of my Tombow Dual Brush Pens. It holds my 20 Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liners, and it holds 6 Pigma Micron pens in here. And it also has on the other side a little pocket, like a little Velcro pocket. I used to have this little triangle ruler I like to put in this pocket, or you could keep like little sheets of paper if you wanted to. Most of the time I either have a sketchbook or I have paper somewhere else in my backpack, so I wouldn't really put paper in here. But yeah, it's like a nice little pocket for like little flat things. So I've had this for almost a month now. Probably like just around a month, and I ordered it on Christmas Day when I got the 12 new brush pens so that it would be right there when I got home, so I wouldn't have to keep them in a plastic bag. Just for reference, I used to keep my Tombows in this pencil case that I found on Amazon as well. I can link this one down below. This one has 48 individual slots in it, and it now holds my Arteza real brush pens. So you can see that there's like individual bands for each pen. And in the new one, that's not the case. So let me try and figure out how I'm going to open this without knocking something over. I think I'm going to have to go diagonally because it's going to be too big to get all in one shot. But when you open it up, it has 8 bands going across, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bands going across. And I put 2 dual brush pens in each slot. I think you could fit 3 if you really wanted to. Yeah, you could totally fit 3. But when I was going through and doing the design and everything and like figure out how I wanted my colors to be laid out, I decided it's a little bit too bright. I decided that I didn't want, or I thought that I'd only be able to fit 2 in each slot. It turns out you can fit 3, but I have 2 with my layout. And I used the Tombow color tracker online with like the color groups. So like it starts with yellows and then yellow greens and then greens and blue and so on as you go through from lightest to darkest. And then the other thing that I did is you can kind of see, I'll zoom you guys in, behind each marker, if I pull out these 2, there's a piece of paper that goes all the way down, and I swatched all the markers so that you can see what the actual color is, because the caps aren't terrible, but they're not great. But these are the colors all at full saturation so that I can easily see which color is which. So there's 8 slots. Hold on. 1, 2. Nope, just kidding. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, I'm right. 8 slots, 8 like panels, I guess you would call them. So the Tombow Dual Brush Pens don't fill up the whole thing. My microns start here. I put them 3 in each slot. And I have a bunch of the sizes. My Micron 02 decided to explode on me, so I don't have that one in here anymore, but I do have a one which is like the graphic brush pen, the manga brush pen. I'm sorry for hitting the camera. I can't remember what it's called. Graphic. So it's like the bigger kind of nib that's there. It's not going to focus on it. Hold on. Yeah, so it's like the bigger nibbed micron pen. So I decided to put one of them in there because they're kind of nice to use. Oops, let me throw it on the ground too. And they used to be my go-tos for pens, for fine liners, but I actually, in a second, will show you guys what I like better. And I used to have my, what are these called? Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liners all in the like case that they come in, that like kind of triangle-y case that like flips out and you can use it as a stand. I had all of them in there, and I like never used them, but I realize now that I actually really like using them and that they're really good quality. So I put them in here so that I would always have them with me. And I know I'm blocking the light and doing all kinds of awful things. I'm sorry. And then the last thing I have in here is a mechanical pencil. This is a Pentel P207. Yeah, mechanical pencil. And I have one in the pen loop of my journal as well, but I figured that if I ever don't have my sketchbook with me, or I have a different sketchbook or notebook or whatever, or somebody just needs a pencil, I have a spare. And then I have one of their containers of lead in here, and I have a bunch of these just sitting around, so if I ever need to refill it, I can do that. So that's all the contents of this. It's a lot of stuff and it's kind of hefty, but it fits right in my backpack because it is lunchbox sized, which is really nice. And one of the things that I found an issue with is that those Pentel mechanical pencils, the erasers on the end kind of go away really quickly. Like you use them really, really quickly and you can refill them. But I was like, oh, like a mechanical pencil that I have to refill the eraser to, like that kind of sucks. I love my Factus erasers, so like I don't even bother really using them that much. So when I came up with the system that I have, I decided that it needed to be able to hold a couple more things that I like to have with me. So this is a pencil case that I got from the Planner Society in one of their boxes. Hold on one second, my battery is dying. So as I was saying, I got this case from the Planner Society, which is like a subscription box for kind of like planner stickers and pens sometimes, and like little die cuts, like cute stuff. I got this pencil case from them, and I like never used it for anything. It used to be my go-to pencil case, and then I decided not to use it anymore, and now I'm back to it. So this is kind of like the watercolor part of my my whole kit. So in here I keep one of those, they're called like, I don't know, it's like a reusable paper towel basically. It's like a little cloth that like kind of works like a paper towel, but you can like wash it out and stuff. And it's like stronger than a paper towel. It's like real cloth. And it folded up really nicely to fit in that pocket, and it's like pretty big. It's made for the kitchen, not for art, but I do like using them for art. That's kind of been a little bit of a hack of mine for a little while, just because they are reusable, and I found that like the watercolor inks that I use wash off of it really easily. So it's something that I can use for a really long time. So I put that in there, was the first thing, so that I'd always have paper towels with me, because for me, those Sakura Koi kits that have like the little sponge in the side, like that didn't really do it for me, and having like a real paper towel was better. And then I'd keep 3 of my water brushes in here, and they're for the most part filled. I keep a small round, a really, really small round, and then I keep a larger round, which is like my go-to one. That's why it's a little bit empty right now. And then I keep a flat in here, the smaller of the flats that came with this kit. And if I can figure out which kit this is, I will link that below as well. And then they all stay in those little pouches. I'm sure I could fit more, but those three are like my go-tos anyway. And then down here, I keep my Factus eraser, which I love. And it's nice that it's in this case and not in the other one, because then I don't have to crack open that big case when I'm just sketching and need an eraser. I can just open up this little thing. And then these are just like plain old, boring, normal index cards. I've actually found that they're really nice for watercoloring on the go, because I use my Tombows and not anything else. So what I'll do is I'll take like a card out, and I'm gonna use an Arteza brush because I don't want to open up that case. But I'll take like, let's pretend this is a Tombow. I'll either like paint on here or like do a doodle on here, and it like doesn't soak through that much. You have to add like a lot in order to get it to soak through. Or with a Tombow specifically, I'll like lay down some color with a Tombow, a pretty good amount of color. And then I'll take my water brush and I'll kind of be able to use it kind of like a palette. So I can pick up that color with the water brush and then paint somewhere else with it, instead of having to like blend right in my sketchbook and have it bleed through or something. Like I can kind of use this as a palette instead to get like really nice pastel colors. But you can still build them up pretty decently and get them pretty dark. So that's kind of what I use them for. And they're like super cheap. I think I don't even remember where I got these ones from. But they're like super easy, super cheap, so I don't mind like using a lot of them. And it's easy to just like use this as like a little watercolor palette and throw it away. And it takes a lot, like I said, to bleed through them. So it's kind of nice to be able to like sit someplace and use my markers and everything. So I just have one more thing that I like to keep in my backpack with me. And these are a new find, but I haven't done a review on yet, but it's coming. The Staedtler pigment liners. I absolutely love them. I didn't think that I would. I thought I was like pretty set on fine liners with the microns, but I absolutely love these. So first of all, it comes in the same case that the fine liners come in, which is really nice. So it's that same case that kind of clicks together, and then you can stand it up. So when I'm working at my desk, I pretty much always have them sitting like this or sitting up against one of my other pen cases or the tripod or something. They're just like really nice and compact, and they come in sizes that I actually like was kind of not expecting. They come in 05 is pretty typical, or a 005 is a pretty typical fine liner, and so is the 1, 3, and 5, but it comes with a 7, where normally it would come with an 8, and I actually really like that better. So that's the Staedtler 07, and then I have my Micron 08 over here, which is a little bit bigger, as you can see. But then it goes bigger than that too. So with microns, for the most part, when you go bigger, you have to go into their graphic set, which is a 1, 2, 3, and a brush. For the Staedtlers, they have a regular pen. They have 2 other regular pens that aren't like graphic pens or anything that are bigger. So this is a 1, which is really, really nice for outlining and doing edges. I really love that one. And they also have a 1.2, which is also really nice for doing edges and stuff. And if you just like, need a thicker line, it's just really, really nice to use them. Yeah, it's really nice. And then they have a chisel that comes with it. So it's like a really teeny tiny chisel that you can probably barely see. But it writes really, really fine. It also writes really, really bold. So it goes up to a 2.0 when you use the chisel side, which is it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice for a set of 8 liners. And their claims are that, where is it? I don't see their claims on here. They're not in English. But I do think that they are waterproof. I'm trying to remember. Let me see, actually. I do believe that they are waterproof. I just can't remember off the top of my head if they are. Let me see. They are light fast waterproof. They have light fast waterproof smear free ink, a long write out length, and a polypropylene barrel for a long life and a long metal tip. And I will say that the 0.5 in the Stettlers, to me, I feel like the micron or the 005, the like finest one that everybody has, I feel like that is so much more sturdy. I don't know why I said that so weird. But I feel like that feels so much more sturdy than writing with the micron for the same size. I don't think that like the sizes are wrong or anything. I just think that the tips at the very least feel like much, much stronger and less like I'm gonna absolutely destroy that one. And that's a micron that I used to like actively avoid because I used to be like afraid of like breaking it and having all the ink spill out and everything. But they do say that they are, I'm sorry, my voice. They do say that they are waterproof, which I believe they are. Here's some water. They have had a decent amount of time to dry. I do like letting my line art dry a while, honestly, before I go in. And for the most part, they are waterproof. You'll notice that with the thicker strokes that I did more recently, it's getting some ink up. But normally I would let my line art dry or even hit it with a dryer for a little bit just to make sure that it's completely dry, because if it's not dry, like obviously it's going to smear. And for the most part, when I'm lining and going over it with watercolors, I wouldn't use anything bigger than the 7 anyway. So it doesn't take too long to dry. I don't usually use anything bigger than a 7 because I'll go back through with the 7 to kind of clean up my lines once I'm done painting. But they're really, really good quality. I really, really like them. They weren't that expensive. Bless you. The pack of 6 is $11.95 on Amazon. This is a pack of 8. The pack of 8 is $20 on Amazon. So between, like, the pack of 8 includes the extra, the 2 bigger ones. So it's kind of up to you which pens you need. But they're not too pricey and they feel like they're going to last a really long time. So I'll do like a more in-depth like review and test when I get to their whole stationery video, but they're definitely like a must-have for me, for sure. And when you look at it now that it's dry, in person you can't, or on camera you can't really see it at all. But in person you can see that it did smear a little bit on the 1 and the 2, and I kind of expected it. Like you can't, like with a chisel, like it's kind of gonna smear. But you kind of just have to let them dry. Which is pretty normal. But anyways, that is all I really have to say about the stuff that I keep in my backpack, which is all of that stuff. I do keep these just in this case because I like it in that case, because I like that it's like nice and little and compact. And then I do keep like, all this stuff in my backpack. Like when I go to work, all this stuff is with me. And I try and use it as much as I can, and my kids think it's entertaining, so that's kind of fun. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.